Right, how are you doing everybody? Welcome to Russell Heritage Golf. Today, it's the last part of our video series of a fantastic drill that just makes the golf swing so much easier. And based upon your comments and your feedback, it has helped lots and lots of golfers help visualize and create feelings in a really simple way. And let's be honest, who doesn't want that when it comes to playing this game? So today is the last part, as I've already mentioned, and it's all about that hit. And the key thing is getting out of the way. So clearing those hips out of the way, coming into that impact area. To quickly summarize, because it just makes the most amount of sense, let's kind of briefly talk about the whole process. So to create the easy drill, you need two alignment sticks. The first alignment stick goes down for your feet line and it aims parallel towards the direction where you're going. So if I aim here towards this yellow flag, this cane is representing my target line, this one is parallel to it. All you need to do then is place another cane perpendicular to it. And what you do by simply setting up this area is you create 4 boxes. Again, starting in the top left, box number 1, top right, box number 2, bottom left, box number 3, bottom right, box number 4. What we talked about was in the takeaway, as we start to move back, we should create a little bump, a little bump towards our trail side. And this just helps the club head travel back through our second box like so. And then we continued that up to left arm horizontal. Then in the last video, we talked about a recentering movement. Now for this, I'm going to face you guys. So obviously the box is going from 1, 2, 3, 4 this time. So I've taken the club back into box number 2, left arm horizontal. Now as I complete my backswing, because we've shifted a little right or a little to our trail side, we need to recenter. And this means that as my lead shoulder, so my left shoulder, goes into box number 2, you can see the way that my trail hip, so my right hip, comes back onto the perpendicular line, like so. Now the first video in this series was the transition. And what we spoke about in the transition, and now it makes a lot of sense because we've recentered, our lead hip and our lead shoulder should be going down into box number 3. And as we're going down into box number 3, our hands should go out to box number 1. So we are in a position like so. Now, I also muted that when we hit the ball, the hands will come back into box number 3. But I personally feel that will happen very naturally based on today's video. If you're rehearsing this in these positions to get a strong feeling, and you re-rehearse this left arm horizontal in the downswing position, you should notice now there is a lot of weight underneath your lead leg. Because the pelvis has turned down into box number 3, that should mean that there's a lot of weight on this lead leg, prompting the need for extension. Also, if you're going down into box number 3, we need extension to clear out of the way. And this is the big thing, and this is what I really love about this, because the feeling that you need to have coming in towards the hit is that your lead shoulder and lead hip are going to be working their way back into box number 4 as your trail hip and trail shoulder work into box number 3. So how many do we see of the pros, and you'll be watching the golf all the time, and they finish balanced like so? And how far do they hit it? And that's because the better you get at retracting this lead side, the more your hands can whip through towards the target. And if you're worried about going, oh, hang on, if I'm ending up here, but remember, this side comes through to give you a really balanced finish. Now, the one tip that I share with pretty much everybody who comes for lessons, face to face or online, is that you are always trying to get the feeling that your lead hip is always trying to move further away from the handle of the club. So that means that if I'm swinging this way, I want to feel like my lead hip is moving back into box number 4 as my handle works its way down through towards the target. And this will just kind of help you get a really strong feeling of that sort of extension phase of the golf swing, and should hopefully put all of this together very, very nicely for you. And that is it. So you now have a solid grid system for every part of the golf swing, and you can just focus on those key areas and those key movements. And you'll need to exaggerate into certain numbers depending on your need, but at least if you're doing practice swings, or you can set this up down the driving range when you hit shots, it should really help you understand the sequencing and events of the golf swing. And that is it. So hopefully you've enjoyed the series. Hopefully you've also enjoyed today's video. As always, appreciate a thumbs up and a like. Remember, it's free to subscribe. If you're going to do so, press the little bell icon. So every time you press that button, you have notifications. And that means you never miss a video and miss a tip. Catch up with you guys again soon.